Welcome to Imperium Podcast, where we invite entrepreneurs that work in the construction industry or any other industry that is related to the construction industry, which is the heartbeat of the UK economy.
What's your strategy for scaling up from owning a few properties to building a property empire?
It's really all in the mindset, but the easiest way, which everyone is doing, that it happens by time, because as long as you buy the property with using all the matrix that we have specified in previously, and you make sure that you have strong capital appreciation. When you refinance after 5 years, then automatically straight away you'll be pulling out more money. So let's say today the property is worth £100,000. In 5 years, it will be worth 150, £160,000 or £200,000. Then you refinance, you get the 75% of the uplift. Then you take this money and you go and buy a new property, and then it will all be in the numbers. You do this 5-6 times, then in 5 years you will withdraw money from 5-6 properties. Then you'll be able to go and buy five more 6 properties after. It's just a snowball effect, and this is one method. The other method is that sometimes you need to diversify a little bit. It's not only houses or single family units that you need to look for. Sometimes it's even better that you can look at commercial properties. Some of them are being sold because they're vacant now. There's a lot of vacant commercial properties. You need to look at them, and then you can convert them under permitted development. And then straight away, if you buy, I don't know, a small commercial unit, which is a shop or an old high street bank with couple of offices above, you can convert this to 3-4 flats. And then straight away, you're going from one house to multiple of units, and then you refinance after 5 years, you go again. And then it is the snowball effect. And you can always rely on investors. If you have proven that your formula works and you have proven your success, there will be a lot of investors out there that will be willing to work with you, because at the end of the day, investors don't like leaving their money in the banks, because their money depreciates by time due to the inflation. So an investor would rather to invest with you rather than having their money not invested properly or invested and bringing them low returns. So it just all happens by times. It's all in the mindset. As long as you always want to grow more and buy more properties, there's ways around it. After 5 years, you can refinance. You look at commercial properties. You get investors on board after you have proven your formula. And this is just the way to go.
What are the biggest myths about property investment that you've debunked through your experience?
There are 3 myths that I've debunked throughout the journey till now, and I'm sure there'll be many more but the more you grow, the more you will learn that there's a lot of false information out there. But let me start. First one, you don't need a big capital to start doing properties whatsoever. I started my first deal with £54,000, and I sold it after, I think, 3-4 months for £221,000. So I didn't need a big capital to start. Secondly, I would say that everyone will be telling you avoid that. You 100% avoid that, because that is a liability. But do not avoid that when you are buying a property, because the only way you will be able to leverage is to go to a bank and to get a loan on a property, to buy the property, increase the value, and refinance or sell and to go again. So definitely that needs to be avoided if you're not using it wisely. But if you're using it wisely, then that does not become a liability, because I'll be paying my loan on, for example, one of my properties, £800 a month, and I'm renting it out for £1,700-1,800 a month. So I use that. I'm paying the debt every single month at £100, but this property is giving me extra cash flow every single month of £1,000. Yeah, the third one, that everyone thinks that once you buy the property and then you rent it out, that's it, your job's done. Actually, this is not correct. There is a lot of work. There's a lot of work that is involved. First of all, you have always to keep the tenant happy. You have to make sure that the maintenance is being done on time. You have to make sure that that whatever works you do in the property is done in high quality. Otherwise, you'll be getting calls from your tenants at all times. This need to be changed. And before you realize, that will be eating from your income straight away. So to recap, I would say the first is you don't need a lot of money. Second, definitely use debt to buy properties. Third, it's not just a passive income. It actually needs some attention to it. Otherwise, your property will become derelict by time and no one will want to live there, and you'll be losing money. So these are the 3 things that that must be taken into consideration.
How do you respond to critics who say that aggressive property development harms communities?
I think you'll always find people criticizing anything and everything you're doing. So, but let me tell you my point, okay? Aggressive property development or aggressive property investment is actually very good for the economy. Just simply look at the workforce. If you are buying a portfolio of 50 or 100 units, you want to refurbish all of this, how many electricians you need, plasterers, the labor that you'll be hiring for the project, that all help the local economy. Secondly, the materials, you will be buying materials from local building merchants that also help the local economy. So at the end of the day, maybe people think, oh, that is really not helping the first time buyers, or that is not helping the small investor that wants to start. But there is a lot of opportunities out there. Uh, to still buy properties if you just want to buy a single unit. However, I will always say just go drive by any big site and you will see the amount of builders and the amount of laborers and the amount of tradesmen working on these sites, how this drive the economy, how all this create the money in the economy. So I think if you just keep listening to whoever is criticizing, and yeah, you will just always hear this. It's always people will criticize what they don't have or what they cannot do, and the majority of them, they cannot do it because they don't have the courage to step up and just to go and risk. And it's not a big risk if it is well calculated. It's a very rewarding risk.
Do you think entrepreneurs are born or made?
So I actually think entrepreneurs are actually born and not made, because it's a mindset that you'll be born with. You cannot teach anyone to be hungry for growth or to be hungry for success at all. It doesn't matter what is your background, where you're coming from. I don't really think it has anything to do with upbringing. It is just maybe some DNA in your body, or it's just something you're born with it. Let me give you some personal example. Before I come here, when I was in Egypt, I think at the age of 15 years old, I started my first ever house party. Okay, and I didn't know anything about parties at all. I just hired a place. I got a DJ from London for the party. I have sold 400 tickets. The whole the whole party was sold out, and then I think because I was still very very young, I did a lot of mistakes back then. I didn't get all the right permits that I needed. So the police came, I think, at 11:30, and they closed it down. And then when everyone was running away and all of this, the draw that had all the money disappeared. And then I had to pay the DJ, I had to pay the place, I had to pay everyone. Okay. And I got some family support back at that time. My father looked at me and he said, "It's fine. It is your first time to do anything, but you just need to do again, and you one, don't ever leave a venture as unsuccessful." He paid off the people, which I would say I'm very lucky to have. But then after this, I have done my second party, and I also sold out everything. And but this time, I made sure I had all my right permits, all of that. I sold out, and then I just made sure that I did not finish this party scene or doing house parties or whatever till I was actually making money. So I started doing this at the age of 15. And then any other thing that came through my mind from the age of 15, 16 till I started my company here after I finished my university, any opportunity, I would have never left it. So I think actually entrepreneurs are born, they're not made, and it's just something in you that will always drive you to do something better, always something in you that will just always make you very unhappy with what you have and you want to do more.
Do you believe in the concept of failing fast as an entrepreneur?
So I think that takes us back to the previous question, where I said that when I started doing this house parties when I was 15 years old, of course, my hopes and my goals that I wanted to sell all the tickets, I wanted to make money. I'm still very young. That was my first ever thing to, with an entrepreneurial mindset. But then what happened? I failed, because it's always trial and error. You will always start something without knowing all the aspects and everything you need, and then something will come and will bite you, and then you will fail. And then but the whole lesson that you need to learn from your failure, so you actually don't do it again. So next time you try, you learn from your previous mistake. If you do the same mistake twice, then you're an idiot. Okay, then you need to just go away and find something else to do. But it is the whole point that you will always do mistakes as long as you keep trying to be better, and as long as you always want to grow, you will always do mistakes. It's just the fact that some people can take mistakes and some people cannot take mistakes, and some people take mistakes and cry and quit, and some people take failures and quit, and some people take the failures, just recoup and think, and what is the next step, and let's do it again, but this time we have to do it better, and then they keep going again. So I think failing is inevitable, and failing will always happen. It's just you need to take it lightheartedly, and you don't need to take it on the chin, and you just need to think how you can always be better in why you failed and why you should not fail again.
How do you feel about the idea that entrepreneurs need to be likable to be successful?
I don't really think entrepreneurs need to be likable, and they don't need to be liked by everyone, because at the end of the day, an entrepreneur is really carrying a lot of weight, really having a lot of responsibilities and a lot of liabilities, and no one around him or around her will actually know this. So the whole point is, I'm sure it will be very popular with all entrepreneurs. When they go home, they are just in their own man cave. They just don't want to talk to anyone. They're just thinking. They're just having something they're planning for. They know that the end of the month is coming. There is a lot of salaries to be paid. These clients are not paying on time. So there's a lot of responsibilities that you are carrying on your shoulders. And it is very hard to satisfy everyone and at the same time to be able to do your job properly. This is one point. The second point, nature of human being are being lazy. So as an entrepreneur, you want to push everyone around you. I think it is also very hard to expect everyone around you to be to like you after you've been pushing them constantly. No, they're not going to like you. They're working with you because they maybe enjoy the environment, they like the job, but you in particular, they know that you are that you are a very high demanding person. For example, I know downstairs when I go to the office, I'm very high demanding person because I just need everything to be done on time, and we have to meet our deadlines. We have these clients, we need to finish this, we need to finish this. I don't want this project to come back because I'm the only person that will be paying for the time if the project came back with questions, or a project came back with snagging list that we need to go and complete. So the amount of weight that the entrepreneurs are carrying on their shoulders make them automatically hard to be liked and hard to be likable by people around them, and it is just the nature of just the nature of entrepreneurs.
Do you think it's possible to be a successful entrepreneur without taking significant risks?
I would say it is impossible to be an entrepreneur without risks, but I think if risks are not measured properly and are not calculated properly, they're actually suicidal. So you should not do them at all. And if a significant risk doesn't have an exit plan, it is also a suicidal. So we 100% take risks, but all my risks need to have an exit plan. Like sometimes I have plan A and plan B and plan C as exit plan, because I just cannot go and dive into, for example, a project, especially if it's a property development. We recently bought a plot and we are building some houses there, and there were some risks that the solicitors pointed out, and I had my plan A and my plan B and my plan C, because at the end of the day you don't want to jump there and start building and then by the time you finish you screw yourself. No, risks are inevitable. The solicitor said there's a risk, and I know there's a risk, but I have 3 plans, and I will know that I'll get out of the risk. But if it's a significant risk that might actually make you lose everything, I don't think it's actually needed. Especially, for example, for me now in my position, before taking any risks, I have now a lot of stuff that I definitely don't want to lose. So making the right decision is very important, because on any single property deal you buy and you get a loan from the bank, you sign a personal guarantee. If I don't have an exit plan for this, the bank is only coming after, not coming after me, it's coming after the asset. So risks are 100% required to grow, but they have to be calculated risks. If they are not calculated risks, then they are suicidal. Just run away from them.
What is your stance on entrepreneurs who seek venture capital versus bootstrapping their businesses?
I would say you never go and raise money for your business unless your business has proven success before, because you will be losing your business value. So I would say raising capital is definitely amazing because you will need to raise capital at some stage to grow. And growing your business, growing the baby that you have, your business is your baby. So seeing your business growing with you is definitely the best thing. Some people do it with loans, some people do it with venture capital, some people do it with angel investors. So, but I would say you never, first of all, you don't need a loan to start a company. I'm completely against this. You need to start a company, you need to start bringing money in, and then you need to think about loans or whatever. The same thing with angel investors or VCs, because you don't want to get a VC that will eat you alive. So I would say you definitely need to do everything you can do. Definitely need to focus on just, yeah, just you need to focus on every single avenue to try and make money and to try and bring money, put your life savings, whatever it is, to just make your business start generating income. Once your business starts generating income, you're not an idea anymore. You're actually a business. And then once your income is good enough for your business to be profitable, then that will be exciting for investors because investors want a return on their money. So I think it's stages, and I think going, unless you are a scientific discovery, then you actually don't need a VC. If you are discovering the next nuclear fusion, then yeah, you need this. But as long as you're doing a normal business for the community, whether it's engineering, construction, in retail, and F&B, whatever it is, I would say you just need to start with whatever you have, make it profitable, and then go and seek external investors.
How do you handle competition from other entrepreneurs?
I mean, everyone will tell you, I want to start my own business. I want to have my own time. I want to go on holidays whenever I want and all of this. But the one thing that they don't understand that every day we wake up in the morning, we are just fighting not to get displaced in the market because it is very easy. There's a lot of hungry companies out there that they are just waiting for one mistake to kick you out. So I would just say that the competition is the fuel that will always, yeah, as long as you know that there's someone wants to take your position and someone wants you out, you will always keep going. So you will be always fighting against people, whether you know them or you actually don't know them, just to keep going and keep going and going. So I think a market without a competition is a very boring market, and a competitive market is really where you will see a lot of companies changes. A lot, you will see companies going very well for 10, 15 years, and then all of a sudden a new company is born, and this company took them out of the market. Same thing happened with Nokia and Apple. Nokia was the big boy for God knows how many years. Once Apple came, Nokia is nowhere, and that is the competition. Why? Because I don't think Nokia was really innovative and did not really go on the trend as Apple or as Android. So it is just, its competition is always the fuel, but everyone needs to be aware that you wake up in the morning and you are, yeah, everyone is sitting down there. Everyone wants to take your position, whether you're a small company or a big company, it does not really make any difference because you're still taking part of the pie, and that's what everyone wants.
What advice would you give to someone to keep their cool when there's a lot of pressure from the competitors?
I would just really think that you cannot really keep it cool. You just need to really know who are your competitors. Because for us, for example, I will be always trying to do a competitor analysis. I want to always see who am I competing with. The company am I competing with, are they better in prices, better in quality, better in customer service? And as long as I'm always on top of all of this and giving the client what they need, then I'm okay. You need to know who you are competing with. You cannot be competing with a company you cannot be competing with a ghost. You need to be competing exactly with a company that you know their strength and their weaknesses. And as long as you are stronger than them in their strength and you're stronger than them in their weakness, then you're in good position. You only start to worry if they have a new technology better than yours. If they started winning some projects that you cannot win, then you will just slowly be displaced. So you always have to stay on your toes in this. If you decide to be an entrepreneur, it's a life that you would always have to stay on your toes.
Do you think networking is overrated for entrepreneurs?
I actually have very contradicting points of views about this, where I think networking is very important because it's all about who you know, and but you don't need to overdo it because you can know everyone in the world, and if you're not producing anything with such a value, You will just be a friend. You will just be an associate. They will just know you. You need to combine both. You need to actually have the business. You need to be working hard, and you need to have the right network. And also, let me tell you something very important. I actually believe it's all about luck more than anything else. I think there is a lot of people that have better discipline than me and than a lot of other entrepreneurs, but they were not born in the right time, or they are not in the right country, or they're not in the right circumstances. So and that goes back to networking, because with networking you are increasing your luck to meet with the right person that might help you to grow your business, or to find the right investor if you want investors, or your next client. But you still need to combine your hard work with your luck and with your network. But I think actually it's all about luck. You have to be very. I think I was very lucky in a lot of instances, and I think if I didn't have this luck, I wouldn't have done a lot of stuff. So I think actually a lot of things is driven by luck.
What's the proudest moment of your career so far?
My proudest moment happened around 8 years ago, and I still didn't have anything better to replace it yet. So, my proudest moment, I have developed a technology called CMPPS, which is carbon negative permeable pavement systems, when I was studying civil engineering. And that was actually my part of my dissertation. So, I've invented this carbon negative road pavements. And I invented that, and then I decided, okay, I want to apply for graduate entrepreneur visa, and then to be able to apply for, I studied at the University of Greenwich, so they had this what's called enterprise award or something like this. I cannot really remember. Okay, and they said that if you want to really apply for the graduate entrepreneur visa, you really need to take part of this. And uh, I always had entrepreneurial mindset, but I never studied business in my life. I studied civil engineering. So so I said, okay, I'm going to apply for the graduate entrepreneur visa, and then after I finish my university, I will stay here. And then I was so inspired with this technology, and still so inspired with it. So I have applied for the entrepreneur or the enterprise award. I can't remember. And then I went over there. They were all of them doing masters in business, doing PhD in something related to business. Even some of them were professors in the university that wanted to go apply on this visa. And then so they asked me, I need to do a business plan, and then that's when I had my very tough, brutal mentor. He scrapped my business plans over 30, 40 times, and then I've done my business plan. I applied for a patent for my technology, and then I got shortlisted from the top 20. And then when I went there, I was actually shocked. I said, you know what? Actually, that was a big risk I took, because that was one day before my geotechnical exam, at my final exam for my third year at university, was one day after this enterprise. So I went there. I was like, oh my God, all these 19 people, they are all teams, and I'm here alone, and they are all studying business. They are going to wipe me. I'm just going to go home. We started the pitch. It was like we had five six a panel of 5 or 6 people, and then you go and sit with everyone for 3 minutes, pitch to them, and then after that you pitch to the whole crowd, and then the panel sits together, and then they make the decision. So I sat with every panel, and I think I got my a little bit of my confidence that I actually can speak, and I am not actually scared or nothing like this. So, and then it came to the pitch, when I pitched for everyone. Okay, and when I pitched to everyone, sorry. So then I went to the stage, and then when I was going to the stage, I was actually shaking, and then my point was like, you know what? These people down there don't know anything about what I'm going to say. So I don't actually need to remember my pitch. I just need to go there and speak and just highlight the main points. I went there and I said the pitch, and when I was leaving, I was like, I stuttered badly. Probably no one liked this. I just wasted, and I'm going to fail tomorrow in my exam as well, because I haven't studied properly. Blah blah blah. I went down, so they started saying the first five, so the only top five. Okay, so then they start from 20, started the fifth and the fourth and the third. I was not there. I said, I'm definitely not the second and definitely not the first. The second, I said, definitely not the first. Even in the video, when they were, because that was always filmed, I was just sitting like, I was just sitting down like this, like broken man. And then they said, the award for the first place, it's Kamal Farid. I did not believe this at all. So for me, actually, I believe this is actually the proudest moment in my life because everyone, including my mother and my brother, were actually saying, "Why are you going there? Yeah, just go and study for your exam tomorrow." I was like, "No, I am going there." So I remember after I got the award, and then the university posted it on their social media, on their website, £1 billion technology that will change the roads, all of this. Okay, I called my mom video call. Like I got the first place. So I think up to now, this is my really proudest moment.